Okay. In the box?
In the box.
Penalty box.
Penalty box. I don't know what you did wrong.
Yes.
Well, this was very, back. First, I'm very gratified today, and I want to thank the Business Council again and Heather Bruschetti again. This is a big deal for me because it's not just about a campaign. It's about a relationship and how we govern, and it's a very important relationship. One of the fundamental shifts in state government over the past few years is we're not warring with the business community. We're not jockeying with the business community. We're working in partnership with the business community, and that makes a major difference. And I think it's one of the reasons we've had the success we've had. The Business Council has been a great partner in getting a lot of the reforms done that we were trying to get done. So to continue that relationship is very important. The emphasis on the upstate economy is one of the points that the Business Council made very early on, and they were exactly right. Upstate New York had not gotten the attention that they deserved for a long time. A lot of the reforms we made were recommended by the Business Council, so I'm excited about that. I want to thank Plug Power, this company, which is doing exciting work and which is good for the environment, but it's also good for the economy. So I want to thank them for hosting us today.
Heather, Rob Astorino came before you and had basically tried to lecture you into saying that the economy is going the wrong way. Don't buy into it. What was the basis behind this decision?
Well, it is unrelated to Rob Astorino's appearance at our annual meeting. It's related to the success of the last 4 years and the ability to accomplish some very difficult challenges, including maintaining fiscal discipline in New York, which is something that we haven't seen in a very long time.
But is this a rejection of what he said to you, which was the economy is heading in the wrong direction?
We believe that, and we supported things like the property tax cap and spending control because we believe that those are necessary steps to improve the economy, and we think that we are starting to see the impact of them, and we hope to see more.
Governor, how does this endorsement from the Business Council square with your support from the Working Families Party, which wants a faster increase to the state's minimum wage, allowing local governments to raise it on their own via a state formula? Is there a conflict there at all?
Short answer is no, but I'll get to that in a second. Some things, we can debate a lot of things, and everybody can have a theory and everybody can have an opinion. But some things are quantifiable in life, right? The upstate economy, we can measure. We can measure how many jobs we had 4 years ago, how many jobs we have today. We can measure what the credit rating agencies say about the financial condition of the state of New York. We can measure how the spending rate in the state of New York has actually gone down. So some things are not debatable by theory since they're provable by numbers. And the economy in upstate New York has gotten better. It needs to continue to improve, no doubt about that. But it has gotten better. And it has gotten more attention than it has ever gotten before. It's not that it just transformed. It took a lot of work. These regional economic development councils worked very hard. But all the arrows are pointed in the right direction, right? So that's when I say the numbers. Let's just wait a second. Okay. So that's that point. Nick, this is a state with very diverse opinions. You have very liberal parts of the state. You have very conservative parts of the state. You have business groups. You have groups that are against capitalism. And part of the challenge as governor of the state is you represent everyone. And it's hard when you have the spectrum that we have, but that's one of the challenges. And I represent everyone, and I think you see that in my political support.
Mr. Governor, why did members of your administration edit and delay a key fracking study related to the southern tier?
Yeah, I don't know.
The part that was edited seems to suggest that some of the risks were downplayed. Does that mean it's still in play that you're considering the southern tier as an area to introduce fracking on a limited basis, perhaps?
We've made no decision on fracking, and I'm awaiting the report from the
The
administration.
studies that come out every week, there's one on either side of the debate. What is going to be the final study that convinces you or the health commissioner to make a final decision? Because I've seen a study literally every single week that says it's good or it's bad. How are you going to make that call, or Mr. Zucker?
Well, that's exactly what they're working through, and you're exactly right. You have literally on a weekly basis, you can get academics and reports saying it's totally safe, and then the next week you get a report that says it's the most dangerous thing since a nuclear explosion. That's one of the challenges. It's become a very highly politicized, highly emotional, highly opinionated topic. And I am relying on substantive experts in my administration who don't bring any bias to work through it and give me their best advice, which I will follow. I'm not a scientist. I'm not going through the data and the research myself, but they are.
One or two more.
Governor,
the-
IBM and Global Foundries continue to negotiate a potential sale of IBM's chip plant down in the Hudson Valley. Are you involved in those conversations? I mean, I know in February you announced a deal that would preserve a number of those jobs, but are you looking for a larger deal as part of an IBM Global Foundries deal, in order to keep jobs down there?
Let's say we're monitoring the conversations. They're essentially private sector. It's a private sector transaction, but it's obviously has relevance to the state. It's a lot of jobs, big companies. So we're monitoring, but not interfering.
But the state has a big role in that because of the Nano Center and IBM's investment there. I mean, how can that play into what role the state can play in those negotiations?
Well, that's why we are monitoring, and I would say we're involved tangentially.
Governor, you
Governor
said
Rob
there's a
Astorino has
four.
dropped out or declined the invitation in New York City. What is your reaction to that? So now there's only one debate.
That's his decision to drop out. It's a little surprising. He was first, I believe, wanted debates. We then agreed to debates, and then he didn't want to debate. So,
Well, he says he wants them televised, the one-on-one televised.
well, we have a televised debate in Buffalo, and then we have a live radio debate in New York City with a newspaper. So we had TV, radio, and newspaper, which we thought covered everything. He had said he would debate anytime, anywhere, and then he declined to debate.
Is one televised debate sufficient? Is one televised debate sufficient?
Well, you should ask him that, because he declined the second one.
Is one sufficient?
I think 2 debates were sufficient. He has declined, he only wants to do one.
He said on the
A campaign for any Democratic candidates for Senate on Long Island or in the Hudson Valley where they appear to be having coal problems.
Would they be having, I'm sorry, what problems?
They're trailing, Democratic candidates for Senate are trailing on Long Island and in the Capital Region. Are you planning to actively campaign?
I
for any of
am,
those
and we will. A lot of our campaign materials we're doing together to help Democratic candidates across the state, and I'll be campaigning with some.
Hey, Governor, looking at your first term of the last 4 years, is there anything that you would have done differently, or anything that you've learned over the last 4 years that informs you for a second term?
Yeah, I did too many press conferences in the first term. I was too available to the press. I communicated too much to the press, and the second term, I'm actually going to do fewer press conferences.
Governor, that's in the book, right?
That's in the book.
Hey, Governor,
That's in the Bible.
what role are you going to have in the decision on casino locations? Are you personally playing a role?
No, Tom. We have an elaborate configuration. We have basically a commission, a gaming commission, that then has a second site selection commission, and they're handling it.
What about the idea of Orange County versus the Catskills? After the referendum was passed, you went to Bethel Woods, Sullivan County, to tout the idea it's going to help the Catskills. Now the majority of these are in Orange County, the proposals. How do you balance Orange County versus the need in the Catskills?
That they're going to have to do, Joe. I'm not playing a role in that.
All right,
Rob
thank you guys.
Astorino said today that for women, he kind of dismissed your women's agenda, saying that for them it's going to be a choice between third-term abortions or jobs.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that he dismisses women. That's clear from his position. that he dismisses women.
Governor, education policy in a second term was a big issue in your first term, obviously, Common Core, teacher evaluations. What are you going to be looking to do on that front? If you're
Joe, we have a
reelected?
lot more to do. Look, we talked inside about the transformation that we made from a financial point of view. And really, you know, I was looking at the numbers, and Heather's point was very well taken. You look at the financial picture for the state, and the spending rate, the size of the workforce, this is a 50-year shift. And we sort of take it for granted. But literally, you can go back to Rockefeller's time and just look at the numbers, look at the rate of spending since Nelson Rockefeller, and look at the taxation rate and the spending rate since Rockefeller. And that is the story of the state of New York and its finances. And then you wonder why people complain about taxes. We shifted a 50-year pattern, which was a phenomenal financial undertaking. And I think fundamentally changed the financial dynamic of this state. That's why I said to my friend, Mr. Lovett, it's numbers, it's numbers. I have an opinion, I have an opinion, I have an opinion. That's nice, I have numbers, okay? Education is a similar transformation. Our education system is a public monopoly where the paradigm is the more money you spend, the better you will do. That's the paradigm. You want more education for the student? Fund the bureaucracy with more money. That's how we've been operating for years. And the Albany culture, how do you improve education? Spend more money. Well, now we got to a point where we're spending more money than anyone per student, than any other state in the nation, and we're in the middle of the pack. And the whole culture of education in Albany is more money, more money, more money, right? That was my state of the state when I was saying everybody has a lobbyist. The whole culture is spend more money. And the money fuels the bureaucracy. And I'm saying it's not about growing the bureaucracy. It's about helping the student. And that is different than funding the bureaucracy. And we've been funding the bureaucracy and the bureaucracy that does reports and the bureaucracy that lobbies, but we haven't been helping the student. And let's focus on student performance. That gets you to teacher evaluation. That gets you to school evaluation. That gets you to performance funding, which is a total cultural shift. You're not going to get paid a salary. You're going to get paid by how many stories you write. That's a totally different paradigm. And we're now saying to the public education system, you have to perform. And you're not just going to get funded for process. You're going to get funded for performance. That is a big deal. And that is a big shift when you've had a public monopoly since its existence. That we're just starting with, right? We hammered home the basic concept, so now we have a basic teacher evaluation that people have accepted at risk of losing their funding, which is the only way we got them to accept the teacher evaluations in the first place. But we have a lot more to do to make those evaluations meaningful and strong and relevant. And that is exciting to me because it's a whole new track for education, which other states are doing, and we're slow and we're behind, but we're on that track now.
Thank you, guys. We got to go this way, Governor.
This way.
The other way.
Good luck.
Sorry about that, Governor.
That's okay. I needed the break.
Bye, ladies.
Good to see you.
Thank you, Bill.